Welcome back to Country Chick Brews. Today we're in the kitchen and we're going to be making modified beef stroganoff. And we're going to be using these mushrooms that we got from our mushroom garden. And these are king blue mushrooms. And I'll be sharing a picture at the end of the video showing exactly what they look like before I cut them into small pieces. So the reason this is modified is because I don't have any sour cream. So I'm going to try mascarpone cheese. You figure it out. And because I don't have any beef that I can cut into chunks or strips, what have you, I'm going to be using ground beef. Thus, it's modified. So on this side of the cooktop, I have a pot of water coming to boil. And back here behind me, I have some homemade noodles I'll be cooking. And in this skillet, I am going to be making our cream sauce for the stroganoff sauce. So I'm going to start with a little bit of lard. And this is our own, technically it's tallow because it's beef. Regardless, I rendered it from our own cow. So we'll just throw about a tablespoon into the skillet. And I'm going to let this get nice and melted. And then I'm going to be adding some flour. And as you can see, I'm making a roux. And I'll build the sauce from there. Okay, now I'm going to add the flour. And I'm using roughly a cup of flour. And this is unbleached, organic, all-purpose flour. So I'm going to just brown this off, get rid of some of that raw flour taste. Okay, now that the raw flour has browned up a little bit, grab a whisk, and I'm going to start adding a little bit of cream, just a little bit at a time. And we'll just let this start cooking up. And we'll just continue to stir and stir. And I'm going to add my salt and pepper at this stage. You can add whatever seasonings you prefer. And just keep stirring until you get the consistency that you would like. So I will be posting here in a couple of days a video showing how we started our own mushroom garden. And it's really very cool to be able to grow your own mushrooms. Now, we don't have a lot of mushrooms growing yet. We just had basically this one blue, I keep calling it a blue oyster. It's a king blue, K-I-N-G, blue. And they get pretty huge. They get about this big. And all of this in the container, probably about a cup worth, is all from the same mushroom. It's all just one mushroom. So now I'm just tearing it into a little bit smaller chunks and adding it to the sauce. And I did rinse them very well. They were a little buggy, so I rinsed them really well. And the added moisture from the mushrooms will then help to thin out the sauce a little bit. Look how big that is. I mean, they just get massive. Maybe that's why they're called king blue mushrooms. And you can make these mushroom pieces as small as you would like. I'm leaving them in a little bit larger chunks, mostly for aesthetics, so you can actually see that they're in there. And they will shrink up some as the water is cooked out of them. Get that mix. Look how delicious. So now I'm going to change it back to my spoon. And I'm going to add the mascarpone cheese. I could have picked something easy like Parmesan, but where would be the fun in that, right? Smells good. So this is kind of similar to a cream cheese, I guess. So it'll help make everything a little nice and creamy. Add the rest of the cream. Okay, so there's the stroganoff sauce, just nice and creamy, mushroomy. So I'm going to turn this heat down and just let it slowly simmer and try to get the noodles cooked. The ground beef is all finished, it's all nicely browned. And now we're just waiting on the noodles, waiting for the water for the noodles so we can get those cooked, and then we can get this dinner plated. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to move the pot for the noodles over to the stove and hurry up and get those going and try to get this video done in a timely fashion. The noodles are finished and I'm just draining them off. And I didn't worry about getting particular about the size of them. They're all the same thickness, and that's all that really mattered as far as being able to get them cooked all the way through. So first we're going to put a bed of the noodles down. Mark's going to be so excited when he gets home. Okay, so there we have our noodles. And I added the ground beef to the stroganoff sauce. Give it a little bit of a stir. And now we plate. And of course, before I serve this amazingly delicious dinner to Mark, I need to do a quality control test. So a couple of noodles, a little bit of the sauce. Excellent. There you have it. Modified beef stroganoff with king blue mushrooms, fresh from our own mushroom garden. I'm Bev. This is Country Chick Brews. And I hope you take the opportunity to grow your own mushrooms. It's so much fun and so much healthier. You get the mushrooms at the store, you have no idea what compound they were grown in. You have no idea if they were treated with any chemicals. You know, you just don't know what you're getting. But when you grow it yourself, you know exactly what you're eating. I made the noodles myself, grew the mushrooms, made the sauce from scratch, and it only took just a few minutes. So here you have it. Modified beef stroganoff from Country Chick Brews. That is definitely a plate fit for a king.